Good morning and a happy Sunday to you. I am putting this in my How I Spent My Corona Confinement series because we are still, wow, it seems like yesterday we did our 90th day and there have been so many in between. But I did want to use this also as a check-in because we've had some really I've had some really interesting moments of enlightenment as I let go of doing the videos daily, and how that impacted my life and the learning in the period from the last time we were together and now. So welcome to our church service. Now you notice I usually dress like church when I'm doing a church service. And today I have my work clothes on. What's up with that? Why do I have clothes on when we're doing church and the service is titled Sabbath, Commandment, or Gift? So hopefully I'll be able to share some very good points with you today about that. And why it's important. Why was the Sabbath given to us, and how should we be using it? I'd like to begin by reading the daily word. Now, if you're not familiar with the daily word, it comes from Unity. It's how I found Unity. This is my copy. My copy's large print for, my age-appropriate eyes. But it's a really meaningful thought for every day. And today's was particularly significant for what I want to talk about. And it says Sunday, July 12th, and the word for the day is guidance. We sure could use some of that. And the affirmation is, I am divinely guided. Now I invite you to take that into your heart, and as you go through your day today, when you find yourself perplexed or confused or stressed out, just take a deep breath and affirm to yourself, I am divinely guided. I am divinely guided. It says guidance can be easy to find in the outer world. Maps and GPS technology can help me navigate my way about anywhere. Everywhere I go, there are signs adorning storefronts, and providing just about every kind of information and opinion available. Boy, don't we see that. Spiritual guidance is not always evident, but it is as much or more valuable. This guidance can come to me as a persistent tug on my attention, as a gut feeling or intuition, or even a dream as I sleep. I pay attention to the divine guidance I receive and step out in faith to move my step in its direction. I know that the spirit of wisdom and love within me are always guiding me to blessings of greater peace, love, and prosperity. And the scripture that this is based on is Psalm 25, Verse 4, make me know your ways, O Lord. Teach me your paths. Oh boy, isn't that wonderful? Don't you wish you could, call up God like on your cell phone? But you see, it's easier than that. It's just that we need to learn how to pay attention, to consciously be aware of God's presence in our day-to-day lives. Now, in the Bible, it says, remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. And the scripture behind that, that's one of what we call the 10 Commandments. And I like to really see them as 10 positive ways to have a good life. And that one of those would be the Sabbath. What do you think of when you hear Sabbath? Do you feel like somebody's pressing down on you? I gotta go to church. It's Sunday. I gotta go to church. What if we looked at it instead as a blessing. And it's not just about church. It's about connecting with God. Why is church important? Because we get to connect with like-minded people. We get to pray together, and prayer together is so powerful. You know, there's an old saying that says that sorrow shared is halved, cut in half, and joy shared is doubled. And I believe prayer, consciousness, and good solid teaching and conversation about spiritual things multiplies beyond our ability to measure. Now, this is really important to me today for a very good reason. I just so happen to have done everything opposite to all that I know to be good and true this week. What was happening is I had been very, very stressed out. There were things going on in my life, and they just seemed to come at me faster and with more strength than I could deal with them. Now, one thing I stuck by, religiously, if you want to use that word, is my prayer time in the morning. I am committed to that. I do it religiously every day. When I say religiously, I mean as a part of my practice of my faith in everyday life. Now, here's a kicker. I did not give it my full time that I usually give. The stress that I was experiencing took me away from my opportunity to really engage in the renewal and that guidance that we do get from prayer. I did it the best I knew how, tried to stay inspired, and it seemed by the time I got to the office, everything was back hanging over me like a cloud. What was happening? Remember, as we've talked over and over about the 4 quadrants of consciousness, the lower ones being human thought and human emotion, and the higher ones being intuitive sensing. That's the part where we really connect with God and we can get that guidance. Our goal in life is to be able to spend more time up there and less time down in our humanness. However, I can speak for myself, for as for me, I do struggle with my humanness sometimes. But it's not just about me. It's about my spiritual thing, but it's also physiological, and it's also common sense. As I have gone through the recent stresses, which include the news and the virus and personal family issues and the weather and whatever, what happened was I was losing my time of peace and renewal. See, that's what Sabbath is about. When Jesus' disciples were chastised because they were picking grain on the Sabbath, they were hungry and they were feeding themselves. But they were told that was not a good thing to do. And you know what Jesus' answer to that was? Man was not made for the Sabbath. The Sabbath was made for man. Oh yes, it's a time to worship. It's a time to worship as we take time to acknowledge there is something higher than ourselves. In unity, we say there is one presence and one power in the universe and in our lives. God, the good, omnipotent. Oh, how I wish I could have really grounded myself. You know, I've been in unity for like going on 40 years, And I've been an ordained minister for over 30. And you would think, oh, come on. Don't you know how to practice these principles? I do. And I also, as a human being, tend to backslide from time to time and to stop seeing the truth and to start seeing conditions in life. You know what it means? Pretty much means I'm normal. So don't feel bad if you have the challenges, because you know what we're here for? Y'all should be able to say it by now. We're here to learn. And even the experience that I had this week, which was not just about, being very stressed out. When we're stressed out, we don't sleep well, and we try to solve problems that God is going to solve if we let it be, if we take a breath and let God do the work. I've had a practice that I started a few months ago, and excuse me, whereas I've drawn the little image of the 4 quadrants of consciousness, I now envision the higher one. There was a thing one time, it was a television program, and it said, "The land beyond, from the world past hope and fear." And that's what I envisioned for myself when I see myself trying to rise above the stresses of this life that I'm having difficulty with. And when it works, it's wonderful. It's that real, excuse me, that real awareness that God is in charge. No matter what the appearances look like, God is in charge. Now, I happen to be, probably never noticed, I happen to be a type A personality. That's a run around, do things, try to control and direct the entire universe kind of person. For me, trying to get to that high consciousness place when I am inundated with issues. How did I get inundated with issues? I didn't handle them one at a time. My fault or cause? I think that it's a part of the greater consciousness. Things come to us, things happen, and they have been coming. I would guarantee they've been coming hard at you as they've been coming at me. And those of you who can sit down and do that Om and bring yourself right up in the midst of any turmoil, yes, I applaud you for that, and I want you to know I'm still working on getting there. But as a type A personality, as a person who's very committed to law and effect, cause and effect, spiritual principle, it's a little more challenging for me. It's a blessing and it's a curse. Everybody has their stuff. But when I find that I get stressed out to the point that I was yesterday, well, probably all week, what's happened is that I need to do something. Some people, in order to experience a Sabbath, which is a time of rest and renewal, which is a blessed gift from God to worship all that is good. So there are the people that can do it in meditation right off, and there are people who have moving meditations, and there are people who have really moving meditations. Mine, I am better off sometimes when I need to get to a meditative Sabbath state is to work. I don't mean work with my head where I'm, I mean like what we call monkey work. Here at the campground, I am blessed with a great opportunity. Our helper has had to, our employee has had to go away and do some work in another state for a week, and so we're without her. So that means we get to clean the cottages. That's the kind of thing that leads me to meditation. I thought about that this morning, and I realized when I was in seminary, I cleaned a 12-room house to make some extra money. And I'll tell you, 2 people lived in that 12-room house, and they lived in every room. And I would go in there and I would start cleaning. And as I cleaned, I found the meditative state, the zone. It was a great way to get in the zone. And I realized yesterday when I was in the cottage, I was in the zone. Nobody can prescribe to you what your Sabbath should look like. But I can promise you that if you find your zone, find your place, we can all get up to the land beyond, beyond the world past hope and fear, where we know everything is going to come out according to God's divine order. How we get there is our business. Don't have to stick. Seems like the Sabbath has got 2 sides. It's got the very, very religious, rigid side, and then it's got the very rebellious side, and then it's got that power to us. It said today in the Daily Word that we're about guidance, and we can receive our guidance not by trying to force it, by doing what you do that brings you positively, in a positive way, to that place of peace where you are open and receptive to the living Spirit of God and can receive that guidance. One of the lessons I learned this week was about learning lessons. I had done something, I don't remember what it was, thank you God, but I had done something that I kind of felt like, duh, how did you do that? And for a while, I kind of picked on myself about it. I was like, how could you do that? And then Spirit said to me, when I was in a time of peace and relaxation, Spirit said, learn the lesson and move on. Man, that was powerful guidance. And if that can help you in any way today, learn your lesson and move on, then my life would be blessed by your learning it. So I had been very stressed out. We are all getting stressed out, aren't we? And I let it take over, and I didn't address it in a way that worked for me right away. And once I learned how to address it, I learned the importance of Sabbath. I learned the importance of stopping trying to control, stopping worrying, stop running around like a chicken, but to do whatever you do to take you to that sacred space. And I invite you now, in my process, I actually got kind of cranky, and I was very polite to a couple of customers, but I was a little bit more stern than I normally am. So what I did, anybody has a Catholic background, you would remember the act of contrition. Some things you never forget. I haven't been, in the Catholic Church for 40 years, but the act of contrition is a very powerful metaphysical prayer. And I'm going to say it for you, and I'm going to give metaphysical interjection so you can see how I use it. A lot of times people take their primary, the faith group that they've grown up in, and then they change to another one. And I don't care which direction it changes. We all change in different directions as we grow. Some away from a particular church and some people to it. But with the act of contrition, this is a very solid foundation of principle. It says, "Oh my God, I am heartily sorry that I have offended thee." Well, that starts out pretty warm of the dusty, doesn't it? But that's not, let's look at it differently. Let's look at it that all that is good, oh my own good, oh, all that is good, I sure am sorry that I messed up, that I sent forth a negative cause that is going to bring back a negative effect. That's the way the law works. Then the next line goes, "And I detest all my sins because I dread," oh Lord, Oh my goodness, I forgot the words after all. I knew it right before. Oh my God, I'm heartily sorry that I have offended thee. And I detest all my sins because I dread the loss of heaven, which is all good feeling, and the pain of hell, which is stress, anxiety, nervousness, control issues, fear. Got it? Okay. And I don't want any part of making mistakes because I dread being in that state of anxiety and stress. Okay? And I want to be in a place of perfect peace. But most of all, the next line goes, but most of all because I offend you, O God, who are all good and deserving of all praise. So good is something we want to praise. We want to praise everything. Remember how I've said to do a gratitude list every day? Got to tell you something, no matter what, I do the gratitude list. Okay? And then it says, I firmly resolve, with the help of the Lord, to confess my sins, do penance, and amend my life. Boy, that sounds pretty traditional, doesn't it? Let's put a metaphysical twist on it. To confess my sins is to acknowledge our errors, okay? So I realized when I was crabby and might have had negative energy without even having to open my mouth, to just walk by someone and have them feel my stress and frustration, okay? So I acknowledge that. And then to do penance. When we do penance, that means we make up for what we did. We acknowledge it to ourselves. We acknowledge it to another person. To the person we may have upset or offended. Doesn't have to be anything big. It can just say, hey, sorry, I was kind of crabby before. One of the things I did is I went around and I visited all the campsites and read my campfire stories. Not everyone wanted one, but I did. It was not easy because sometimes if someone's mad at you, it is challenging to go up and say, hey, I was wrong. But 3 words, I was wrong, are the greatest way to change someone's mind about you real quick. And then to amend my life. To amend my life means that I learn the lesson, I admit it, I deal with it, and I move on. I don't forget the lesson. I forget the negative energy attached to it. See? We all make mistakes. I can't remember if that was those. Oh, and that's the most important part of the prayer because I don't remember the end of it right this second. I think God's saying, enough. So, why do we need Sabbath? It is a gift to us. We need it as a time to step away from all that is stressing us out, from even the lies and deceit we see in the world every day, from all the anxiety, from even our own perceived shortcomings. I say perceived because we're all here to learn, and the only real mistake we can make is not paying attention and not learning. So, I am hoping that you will find a time to take Sabbath. Now, you will find a time to connect with that which is greater. And you will move from the lower realm of human consciousness, the fear, the doubt, the stress, the anxiety, the frustration, and you'll be able to move into the higher level, which is peaceful. You're open to guidance and you're intuitive. You can allow God to speak to you and guide you, and you sense good in the world. You sense right ways to be. And then, once you're there, then you're ready to really come into Sabbath, which is pure relaxation. And when you're relaxed, you can renew and refresh. For some people, working in the garden is the place they feel closest to God. And I invite you to do that. If working in the garden brings you closer to God, Sabbath may say no work. And the hyper-religious, the very orthodox Jewish people of back when, would even tear off sections of toilet paper that they would need on Sunday, so they didn't do any work on Saturday. So they didn't have to do any work on Sunday. Or I guess in the Jewish tradition, they do it on Friday night, Friday during the day, so they didn't have to do it on their Sabbath. Forgive me, any of my Jewish friends are listening to this. I just know that some people are hyper strict, the same way as there are hyper conservative people of all faiths. So, don't let anybody tell you how you have to do the Sabbath, but strive to take time. Imagine if we had a whole day to do nothing but what made us most joyful and feel closer to God. That's what it's all about. When you turn on the news, when you encounter negativity, I'd like you to remember something, and this is how I would like to close our service today. This is a prayer by James Dillett Freeman, and it is called, I Am There. So we're going to take a minute to take a breath and release. Do you have any stress? Let it go now. With a couple more deep breaths, you should find yourself in your sacred space. Let God speak to you through these words. Do you need me? I am there. You cannot see me, yet I am the light you see by. You cannot hear me, yet I speak through your voice. You cannot feel me, yet I am the power at work in your hands. I am at work though you do not understand my ways. I am at work though you do not recognize my works. I am not strange visions. I am not mysteries. Only in absolute stillness beyond self can you know me as I am, and then but as a feeling and a faith. Yet I am there, yet I hear, yet I answer. When you need me, I am there. Even if you deny me, I am there. Even when you feel most alone, I am there. Even in your fears, I am there. Even in your pain, I am there. I am there when you pray and when you do not pray. I am in you, and you are in me. Only in your mind can you feel separate from me, for only in your mind are the mists of yours and mine. Yet only with your mind can you know me and experience me. Empty your heart of empty fears. When you get yourself out of the way, I am there. You can of yourself do nothing, but I can do all and am in all. Though you may not see the good, good is there, for I am there. I am there because I have to be, because I am. Only in me does the world have meaning. Only out of me does the world take form. Only because of me does the world go forward. I am the law on which the movement of the stars and growth of living cells are founded. I am the love that is the law's fulfilling. I am assurance. I am peace. I am oneness. I am one with you. I am the love you can cling to. I am the law you can live by. I am your assurance. I am one with you. I am. Though you fail to find me, I do not fail you. Though your faith in me is unsure, my faith in you never wavers, because I know you, because I love you. Beloved, I am there. I pray you will enjoy the rest of your Sabbath. I know for me, it's important to recognize my triggers. One of my triggers is not taking Sabbath time. Another is flat out not eating right and getting enough sleep. Remember, the Lord giveth his beloved sleep. So go forward in this day and know that you are a beautiful, beloved child of God, and that the light of God surrounds you, the love of God enfolds you, the power of God protects you, and the presence of God watches over you, that wherever you are, God is, and all is well. Namaste. Blessed day.